Ought to be good. Will the Leaves improve their second-ranked 25% power play given the addition of Tavares, or take a step back given the loss of JVR and Tomarov and Bozak?
Did you say Leaves?
Leafs.
Okay.
Leafs.
She did say Leaves.
She was
Clyde.
speaking proper English, which
Yes.
doesn't work in hockey.
Toronto.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. You know what's interesting on the power play on a total different note? Like, Bruce was going on the other day about how the Wild have, and I kind of took a little slight at this, which just shows, by the way, that I'm not that I'll still take my little shots at Bruce. But Bruce was going on about how the Wild have never, and it's true, have never had 2 years in a row of 20% power plays. But then I looked last year, and their 20% power play, 20.4, was 17th in the league. So it just shows that the new rules have all of a sudden, and maybe it's the goalie equipment being down, all of a sudden a 20% power play is below average, where before 20% power play was almost a juggernaut, scoring 1 out of every 5. In terms of Leafs, I mean, that's a good question. I just have trouble believing that a team that has, Tavares, Austin Matthews, Nylander, Marner, Jake Gardner, Morgan Riley, that these guys are just going to all of a sudden fall back. I mean, I don't know if they'll be 25% again, but they'll still be a juggernaut and a scary team. So
Thanks.
Thanks,
Philip,
Vicky.
Man,
thank
Philip,
you.
Thanks, Philip.
I
Thanks, Vicky.
answered all these questions completely out of guilt for the way I treated him last week. Yeah, or 2 weeks ago.
That's his job.
Yes,
You
Mary
entertain.
Granlund's a superstar in Philip's definition.
Yes. Vicky, remember your shirt. Got about 10 minutes left in the show. I'm going to do some Twitter questions, but we always prefer live questions. Anybody else wants to come up at any time.
Who's coming to the Dulono's party on Friday? Anybody? The athletic party? Oh, you're the best. Thanks. Mary, where are you? What are you doing Friday night?
Where's Granlund?
I'll bring Granlund here. You're in? Nice. Special guest Mikhail Granlund is going to be coming to the show on Friday.
And how many bodyguards does Granlund need when he's around Mary? Form like the human shield or just one?
Yeah,
to overlook?
exactly.
From Zach Brown on Twitter, who does Russo predict has a breakout year this year? I'm sure he means among
God,
the
it's
Wild
funny.
people.
So I'm leaving here. I just spent like all day. I had to go. I went to the captain's practice today, and I was just at Starbucks for, honestly, I mean, it's crazy that 5 hours writing my birthday piece for tomorrow because I just had like this writer's block. And but now I'm going home to write my Minnesota Hockey Journal, Minnesota Wild preview, and I was walking over here thinking about it for the first time. I'm like, well, I don't want to write another 2,000 words, and I'm like, it's kind of a kids magazine, so I think I'm going to do it in like categories. And the one, I'm thinking like, needs to bounce back, like kind of kid-friendly stuff. But the one I was thinking of was breaking out, and it's hard to say that because if you think about it, like I don't want to say Coyle. Coyle, plus he's got to be in the needs to bounce back category. And if you think about it, I mean, guys like Zucker, Dumba, Granlund, they've all had breakout years. But then it's like, do you put Eriksson Ek? Like what do you consider a breakout year for Eriksson Ek, who only had 6 goals last year? So it's a hard question to answer, but he's the one I would say. I think it's too soon to say Greenway is going to quote unquote break out. But I'll probably. To answer that question, I'll just go Eriksson Ek because, he's the guy. He's going to get significant ice time this year, significant line mates. He's going to date Allison. And so there we go.
We are live at Dulono's Pizza, 118 North 4th Street, downtown Minneapolis, 612-767-9494. Huge delivery area from both the Woodbury location and from here. Excellent pizza. Vicky and Clyde are having one right now. I've had it myself. They have very good gluten-free pizza, which I really appreciate. I know Bert's had their basically their version of the Sloppy Joe and the Philly cheesesteak and has enjoyed it. So check them out for lunch specials, happy hours.
Their Greek salad's awesome.
Greek salad's great, and beer specials during our shows. We haven't set up our next show, have we yet?
No.
Follow us on Twitter, and we'll get you the date for the next live show here. And let's see, the next Twitter question from Kyle Yell: is it Dallas's fault or Sagan's fault that he hasn't been extended?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they're offering him. I can't imagine that Blake Wheeler's contract today helps Dallas's cause. I mean, here you got Sagan, who's much younger and a history of being a stud. If I'm Sagan, I think he wants to stay long term, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to say whose fault it is. I'm not in those negotiations. All I do know is that their GM is extremely respected. Not to talk on the air about this, but it would have to be September 18th if we can try to be here, which is a Tuesday night, because the 19th I have to drive to Des Moines. Anybody want to drive with me to Des Moines? So you're going to have to drive, though.
All right, so tentatively 5:30, September 18th. Follow us on Twitter for updates, but we'll plan on September 18th, 5:30 for a show here. From Russo's Slorts on Twitter, I've been told that Kaprizov won't be able to sign with the Wild until the 2020-2021 season. Why have you not mentioned this, Michael?
I know he's kidding, and he still made my heart skip a beat.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Is Russo Slorts coming to? If Russo Slacks is coming to, first of all, he can only come on one condition. If he's coming Friday night to the party, I need him to make some signage, preferably with no Photoshop of me in it. Just some sort of like The Athletic something or other, like a sign that just says like "Happy Birthday to Us" or something. Like I'm sitting with Zach today. I'm like, "Do we have any signage?" And he's like, "No, we don't." I'm like,
I have a huge sign that we just didn't put up today, so we put out the little signs.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Does it say The Athletic?
It does not. No, it's. I'm saying I'm available for hire.
You should have like an arts project for like if you're listening to this podcast and you have kids, have them go to like Staples, get some poster board, and make us some signs.
From my friend.
And then I said to Zach, maybe we like hang up maybe an Athletic T-shirt and Athletic hat. But then Zach's like, people will probably steal it. That is probably true, Vicky.
From my friend MJ, a frequent listener of a few of the podcasts on the network, is Stalock the primary backup for Dubnyk?
Yeah.
Will Mike or another? Well, why don't you answer that one?
Well, I think so. I think it's going to be his job to beat. Bruce loves him, unless he just comes to camp looking awful, which he's not. Unless Hammond's like out of control good. I've got to think that Stalock's the guy.
She also asked, will Mike or another reporter have some general coverage of the Whitecaps hockey team?
Yes, we will have Whitecaps coverage this year. I don't think that like every game coverage, but Nate Wells, who is going to, who wrote the initial story, and he will be somebody that we're going to assign to the Whitecaps, and hopefully I get to see him play because they're going to be a trio bunch.
And MJ also asked how Oliver's doing.
Oliver's doing well. Thanks for asking.
Todd, good to see you. Fire away.
Welcome back, Todd.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, good to be here.
Yeah.
It's quite a commitment for me to get down.
We know. We appreciate it.
Where are you from again?
Well, we moved from Owatonna to Elko now, so we're only an hour away.
Dang.
Oh, wow. And Owatonna's how far?
About an hour and a half. It's down toward
Besides
Iowa.
you know who the famous band is from Owatonna?
No. Oh,
Owl City.
Yeah, Owl
That's
City.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Yeah. They record down there, too.
Yeah. It's the only
question for
time
you.
I've ever heard of Owatonna, just for the record.
Nice golf course.
Yeah, it's a great little town. Right on your way to Iowa, all the way down to you pass my house. Actually, you'd always pass it going to see the Iowa Wild play.
Nice.
So, but my question is, kind of two. Like, who do you think, and like the top 5 teams of the NHL that improved over the summer with signings, like Tavares in Toronto and such, and then anything on Erik Karlsson lately?
No, I think the Erik Karlsson rumors that came, I do think he's going to get moved, but I think that was Ottawa trying to like leak it out there, like get people talking. Like, we're about to give him to Vancouver, and then get people like trying to churn up interest again. Because again, I mean, if he goes into the year and they don't move him, I mean, they're going to lose him for nothing. So I think I do think that they're going to trade him at some point. And what was your first question about the top 5? Well, I mean, I still think St. Louis. Bruce kind of poo-pooed that the other day on the air. He just thinks that it's going to take him a while to get acclimated, but I think that team's much, much improved. I'm not a big Bozak guy, but Ryan O'Reilly is awesome, and I am a David Perron guy, but that's because I have I wouldn't say friendship, but definitely a relationship with him. So I am a David Perron guy. And I think the Wild should have signed him, but I don't think that he and Bruce had a great relationship in Anaheim. I think Calgary's much better with the addition of my buddy James Neal, and I think Arizona got much better. Those are the 3. The teams that I think are going to be near the bottom of the league this year, I still think Vancouver's going to be down below. I think Edmonton didn't do much to improve. They're going to need to hope that last year was kind of a sophomore slump and they're just going to get better. I think the Rangers are going to be lousy. I think Ottawa's going to be horrific. Those are kind of the teams that I look at the bottom. I think Carolina is building, but not going to be great. And Florida always they always have the talent and never get it done. So those would be the teams I'd put on the bottom.
Todd, thanks for making the effort to be down here. We appreciate it. Good seeing you again.
Yeah, thanks. Philip didn't.
Very good point.
You should just start.
Vicky almost choked on her pizza when you said that.
Vicky should start just giving her cell phone out to everybody, and you just text her to ask questions.
I'm arranging that.
Yeah. But the problem is, if Vicky's going to do that, she needs to also eat your beer and pizza to make sure that they're getting revenue. The people that are emailing you. They should kick in a little for Dulono's.
Good. He's so demanding.
Yeah.
A couple more minutes. We appreciate everybody being here. We also get a famous final non-thought from Michael Russo. Let me thank our sponsors again: Dulono's Pizza, downtown Minneapolis; Twill in the Edina Galleria; Fixologyrepair.com; Whizkids.tech; and Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent in Champlin, who, by the way, handles my insurance and Michael's insurance. From Nat Robbins: with no changes in the top 9 except perhaps for Greenway, how will the Wild improve their dismal overtime record?
Well, I'll probably start by not playing Suter and Koivu every shift. I mean, that would be one. Look, I mean, I'm one that I think that it has to do with a little bit of non-finishing and things like that, but you look at every overtime, they just don't take advantage of their opportunities. I don't think it has so much to do about, I guess the goal would be not to get into the overtimes, but it's a new year. It's up to Bruce. I mean, he's got to pay attention to these guys and make sure they get off the ice, So.
Question from Mary.
Hey.
Oh, I'm just curious your thoughts on Nate Schmidt, what all went down with him.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate. I mean, I don't know. Knowing him as well as I do feel bad. I'm hoping that what his statement is true. He's just such a great guy. In hindsight, I mean, on Thursday I'd seen him and I asked him if he was coming to the state fair, and he and I are, have a really nice, relationship. And in hindsight now, I could kind of see that he was actually trying to avoid me when he was leaving Braemar. And now I kind of know, but I was asking if he wanted to come to the state fair, and obviously the day after my state fair show is the one that's all broke. But he said he wasn't coming. But I don't know. I hope it's not true. Although I'll just say that this rarely ever happens in the NHL. It's not so. If it was contaminants in the air or whatever was in that, it just seems like that would happen a lot. And it's happened. It happened to Sean Harkoff. It happened to Sean Hill. It happened to Jose Theodore, but that was Propecia. It's happened to a couple guys, but I don't know. All I can tell you is, though, that deep down I think he's a really good guy. I can't imagine whatever this was in his system caused his breakout year last year, where he was an absolute stud for them. I mean, that's my opinion. But it is a shame. I mean, you got to feel bad about it. It's going to be an eye-opener to everybody, that's for sure.
Let's do one more Twitter question. Thanks for sending them all in. We appreciate it. From Kyle: since Olofsson is still with the team, will they give him more of an opportunity to play in the third pair, or do they give Sealer a real chance to earn that spot?
No, Sealer's going to get the real chance. And if Sealer's not good enough, he doesn't require waivers, so then Olofsson or Prosser could play his offside. Olofsson, I think I mentioned on the podcast before, met with Bruce and Fenton and basically said, look, I know this is my year. I got to prove it to you. But Sealer is the guy. He's going to have a belly-up camp to not make the team, I think. I mean, Bruce loves him, and he has all the reason to. I mean, last year, I can't imagine that was a fluke, but we'll see. I mean, I could tell you, not to give away scoops, but, I'm getting together with him tomorrow for a big story, just seeing him at practice and seeing him last week, I mean, let's put it this way, he didn't get out of shape over the summer. So, he's coming ready to camp to fight for a job, and he's going to be an etch above anybody else just because of the year that he had last year. Again, Prosser's going to be uphill climb to get ice time, and he's going to have to probably wait for injuries. As Bert mentioned, he could potentially get that. Eventually, you'll have to be patient because a couple guys on this team have proven that they do get injured every year. So, Olsen is probably, I would put to make the team. I don't think they're going to keep 8D. So if they come out of camp healthy,